I'm going to call to order, if I can get it out of my mouth, the town meeting for the month of January 2024. If we could all please rise for the invocation.
To kind of have it follow, Lord, we'll certainly praise you for getting us through another successful year, Lord, in the town of Chincoteague, Lord. And Lord, we know that it didn't come because of our works, Lord, but all the employees, Lord, that spent countless hours and times, Lord, and like I said, our police department banging on doors and going to places for wellness checks, and our EMS, Lord, that don't know what's behind the door when they go in, Lord. Please continue to bless them, Lord. Please continue to bless all of our employees. Lord, please be with our troops, our men and women, Lord, and lift them up, give them strength, Lord. And Lord, tonight we have a special prayer request for Miss Betty Jean Jay's mother, Lord. Just be with her, Lord. Give her the strength, Lord. You know her faithfulness in her whole life, Lord. And Lord, just hold her hands, Lord, right now. Lord, be with every one of us here, Lord. This year, may we be kinder, may we be nicer, may we be gentler. And Lord, we certainly seek your guidance in everything that we do, Lord. And we pray that we do how you guide us. Lord, we ask these things in Jesus' precious name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nobody? Yay. Well, again, welcome to 2024. Hopefully everybody's ready for it. Another big year. Yeehaw. All right, so we have no public comment. I will take this opportunity to announce the winners of the Christmas lights for the town of Chincoteague. We've got a couple honorable mentions. Gene Jester and David Taylor on Ridge Road. Also Dino Johnson and Sharon on Ridge Road. They were the honorable mentions. Dickie and Carolyn Conklin on Main Street was our third place winner. Second place was Matt and Janet Mason. Back on, is it Division?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back there somewhere.
Division
Back in the
Street.
back, you had to look for that one.
Behind Rosedale.
Behind Rosedale, yep. And our overall winner, everybody that went down to Chicken City saw this one. Delmas and Teresa Mears were the big winners, and those were voted on by some town employees that took their time to ride around and give us their thoughts. So that was this year's winners. All right, so we have no public comment. Do we still need remote participation, Mike?
No, sir.
That's all right. I didn't see them. I didn't know if they were phoning in or not.
No, Brian is on leave, and Wes had an emergency at home he had to take care of. So.
Gotcha. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
Smooth. Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, and I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, looking at the project that's been underway at the Civic Center. On December 6th, DeMuth Train completed the installation of new HVAC equipment at the community center. As you know, it involved 5 new heat pumps. It eliminated the chiller and the new configuration used the existing ductwork, and we had a little bit of new electrical service. It also came with new controls. You see a picture of one of the new thermostats there. It's controllable via mobile app, which you see right below that. We can control all 5 thermostats, pick up the phone here, and just adjust it to whatever's needed. We're hoping that, or we're expecting, I should say, this to also lower our energy bills because we have better controllability and more efficient units. You'll find out in Wes's report, which I'll attempt to take care of in a few minutes here, that we've also taken care of most of the surplus equipment that we're no longer using. We also took the opportunity between Christmas and New Year's to have the floors completely redone. You can see a picture there underway. Floors came out beautiful. much better. You can see the difference between, this is the stripping operation, you can see the difference between the dirt that is in the front that wasn't apparent, wasn't obvious so much when you walk in, but beyond that, what a clean floor looks like. And you can see there's quite a difference, and so it's up to us to maintain it now. I'm happy to report, and I do mean happy, that HRSD now owns the sewage plants at Sunset Bay and all the property that goes with it. On December 19th, all the planets aligned, and I received the deed of gift and the corrected plat, and I took them personally to Accomack to make sure nobody got lost, and had those recorded at the clerk's office. I have receipts. It was paid for by the town. We got reimbursed already. But HRSD now owns the sewage plants at Sunset Bay. And in fact, Kelly has a meeting, I think she said tomorrow morning, with some folks from HRSD concerning billing. The signing or the recording of those documents and the official ownership change voids the lease that we had with Sunset Bay Utilities, which was Mr. Burbage's entity. So he is no longer operating the system. I think, as we've said several times, the contracted operator will continue to be used by HRSD for the foreseeable future. Also, HRSD is well into the design process for the new plants. They've about completed the preliminary engineering review on that, so we're looking forward to getting that started. The sewer collection system on December 18th, following a special meeting by the council on the 11th, the town signed a contract with Davis, Bowen, and Friedel to provide the design, construction administration, and inspection services for the town's initial public sewage collection system. The contract for the design is valued, and construction administration, I'll add, is valued at $283,000. This, of course, will be paid with our ARPA money. Design and prep work began immediately, which is why we asked for a special meeting of council to approve it. In addition to the ARPA funds the town was awarded, we will be seeking additional funding through the state's Clean Water Revolving Loan Fund to make sure that we can obtain enough money to construct the entire system at one time. We did ask Davis, Bowen, and Friedel to, when we go out to bid, that the bid documents be prepared in 3 phases for the project to be bid in 3 phases. That'll be a base bid and 2 additives, and we will certainly purchase all of the collection system that we can afford at that time. Hopefully, with additional funding, we'll be able to afford it all. Moving on, meals and transient. We were down somewhat on meals and a little bit more on transient for the month year over year. We still should have no problem whatsoever if you look at percentage of budget, meeting our budgeted totals, our budgeted revenues for this year. We do have one or two, and moving on down, the harbor, of course, this time of year is not really busy at the harbor, but the harbor master is working with Public Works to price material for replacement of all the finger piers and the traditional slips that we hope to get done over the winter. They need replacing. We have also ordered pedestals, water pedestals for the new floating docks, which we have not installed yet, so that everybody will have a pedestal down within reach of their slip and available water. Right now, Vernon's reporting that we have 5 conch boats and 2 boats doing horn dogging out of the and basing out of the harbor, so there is some subleasing going on at the harbor even in December. Those boats usually last through the end of January, I believe. Looking at the budget summary, the summary below reflects the town's overall budget picture as of December 27th. You'll notice expenses in most departments are up year over year due to the increase in salaries and health insurance costs this year, which you'll remember was significant. Other than that, we still are certainly within the range where we should be in all funds. Public works expenses look inordinately high because we did some paving that was unscheduled in the fall, namely the Memorial Park additional parking lot paving. So other than that, we are about where we should be. Building and zoning. For the month ending in December, Mark issued 36 building permits, conducted 40 inspections. He had a total value of building cost construction of $1.72 million, and a total building permit fees collected were about $5,000. You'll see the list of permits there. I won't go through that, but that's just for your information. And I'd like to add, normally that's the end of my report, but I've got something today I thought you might be interested in. Give me just a second. There it is. I received an email from Robbie Marsh, who was with ANEC today, and I'll just read it to you. This is from the customer, the first customer of our new EV charging stations. And he sent an email to Robbie at Annex saying, after our drive from outside Washington, D.C. to Chincoteague, it usually takes us about 50 hours to charge our battery back to 100%. That's after a 20-minute stop at the Superfast Electrify American charger at the Queenstown Outlet Mall on our way to Chincoteague. Without that bump in capacity, it would take us closer to 70 hours to fully charge our EV using a regular outlet at our house here. We spent a very enjoyable 90 minutes today contributing to the economy of Chincoteague by having lunch at Bill's and making visits to Sundial Books and the library while the car was charging. It was exhilarating to see how much we increased our range and battery percentage at that time. This gentleman is obviously appreciative of the new EV chargers. He sent a picture with that I didn't include of him hooking the car up to the new charger. So it's nice to know they're being used and contributing to the economy. And with that, that's all I have. I'll entertain any questions.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Denise.
Mike, at the harbor, and I'm sure it comes down to money, it does, but those traditional piers down there, I guess there's no way we could put a couple of floating.
We've discussed that, and yes, I'll invoke another municipality here. Have you ever been to Anacoc's Harbor?
Yeah.
All right, they have a straight aluminum pier, and then they have finger piers off of that, which provide slips. We could do something similar. We've talked about doing something similar to that along the gas dock side and along the northern side to replace those traditional piers. We just have not laid it out yet, but we've discussed doing something like that to make it a little easier. The only bad situation with that is once we put a floating pier there, it's more difficult to access because it will run the entire length of the bulkhead, parallel with the bulkhead. So the access would be from one end or the other and not access it from each slip like it is now.
So what I was thinking, like, because don't some of these have the steps that come down on the,
All of them.
They
all
all
of
have
them
about,
do. All of
they
them
all have
do.
about 2 steps.
and
now.
when the tide's real high, I've seen it over top of those
Oh, yeah.
steps. So, I mean, so you couldn't put one coming off of here, like that, is what I'm getting at, instead of,
Possibly, but that would be getting a decent angle or an angle on the gangway that would be easily traversable. You don't want it to be too steep.
True.
And the question there is how far do we push that pier off of the bulkhead in order to maintain an angle that's easily climbed by folks, you know. We could certainly do that, but when the tide drops too low, if that floating dock is too close to the bulkhead, then the angle on the
Right.
gangway going down is going to
Yeah.
be very sharp and folks would fall. So we've got, those are the kind of little things we'd have to work out to do that.
that's why you're the engineer. Thank you.
But we have considered that. The thing we probably have to do, and if you've ever been to an Anacoc's, they access theirs just from one end. And we'd have to do something probably like that to keep the angle.
Right.
Well, you want to keep it, ideally, you don't want it steeper than what ADA calls for, which is 1 in 12.
I just know I've seen, going down there to my boat, and I've seen here on that top side there, there's a tour boat there, and looks like some other charter things there.
Yeah, but not anymore. They moved the one tour boat.
Oh, yeah.
That was up, they moved that one down to one of the other piers.
The one tour boat that was there where you're talking about, we moved on purpose because he was afraid that his folks walking on that finger pier were having trouble boarding, so we moved him
Well,
down to a floating
Well,
dock. so
that's
it'd
what I
be
was
easier
gonna
for
say,
folks.
because it's very precarious right there, for
Yeah.
sure. All right, cool, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Mike, on the sewer collecting system, I know you and I have had this conversation a lot. The state clean water revolving, that's a loan fund. It says
That is a loan fund.
Best thing ever.
Yes, it is a loan fund. It's a low-interest loan fund. I think it's less than 1% right now when I looked it up the other day. That is not something we want to do. Of course, that requires council to put us in debt. But remember, hopefully we would not, well, we know we wouldn't have to fund the entire thing with that, the entire structure. But also, we will also be collecting connection fees to this. Those are envisioned as well. So connection fees can help offset the cost of that loan.
I mean, I really think when we do it in phases, if we're talking about doing it in phases anyway, if we charge the same amount of hookup fees and stuff that the Burbage is already charged, you know what I'm saying, and not go higher, but not go less either. And those, as people hooked up, those fees would pay for the next person's fees. That way that the people that aren't tied in with sewer at all is not funding it too. And I think it'd be self-sustainable with the people that as they hook up on
Ideally,
phase
yeah.
one. And at the amount that he charged per EDU, I really think it would work.
Ideally, we would come out not owing a cent. And again, I don't know what the cost of this would be. Hopefully, we can buy it all with the remaining ARPA funds.
Yeah.
That would be ideal. But that is an option. Is the only reason I presented it.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want people thinking that we're just gonna go get a.
No.
And didn't they tell us at a legislative meeting that some of the ARPA funds are gonna come back that didn't get spent?
They did.
So
And
we can-
Rob Bloxham made the comment at the meeting the mayor and I were just at, is that they don't expect everyone to be able to expend all their funds. And we're hoping some of those, I said, well,
Yeah.
we'll stand in line for some, we can certainly spend it.
I mean, certainly got something shovel ready. Ain't not
Exactly.
everything, you know what I mean? It's not, you gotta go look for something to.
It'll be, by the time they're available, this will be under design, or design will be complete, and we'll probably already have bid whatever we can afford. If it's not all of it, hopefully we can get some of that as well. So there are multiple options out there.
I just don't want people that's don't have the service available to them to be paying for the people that do have the service available.
Sure.
To them. That's-
All right, any other questions? We'll move on. Police report, Tyler.
Good evening, everybody.
Mr.
On
Reed.
December the 2nd, the department held its annual Christmas toy run. Pretty successful ride. I think we had over 50 bikers there. Got a lot of good toys, and everything that we didn't get donated to us, we went shopping on the 13th. Got a lot of good gifts, and we gave toys to, I think it was 33 children this year. And the rest of the toys we ended up giving to the Atlantic Volunteer Fire Company like we usually do. And on the 2nd, we also assisted with traffic control and the security of the town's annual Christmas parade. On the 5th through the 7th, PFC Matthews, PFC Renus, and PFC McGee completed their speed measurement training. So they are now radar and LiDAR certified, just so everybody knows. Just putting that out there to the public too. So also just something not on your sheets, both the white Durango and the white Dodge Ram pickup truck have received or had installed police lettering on them. And the white Durango is currently at Eric Nottingham's getting all the materials put inside of it, you know, the docking station, the consoles, and that kind of thing. So as soon as that one gets back, I'm going to send him the Dodge Ram, and he's going to go ahead and get to work on that. So I'm hoping by this month sometime we'll at least have the Durango back, and hope to get that on the road and get that going, you know, as soon as possible. Just also wanted to add a couple other things. All the officers have been issued new bulletproof vests. That came funded from an ARPA grant fully. These new vests are a lot lighter, a lot better design. They're a lot more safe. They have the cummerbund around the outside. The older style vest didn't really have any protection on the side, so it's definitely an upgrade. And everybody seems to like them. I've not heard one bad thing about them. And with that same grant, everybody got issued new pepper guns. Our pepper guns were outdated. They were 2-shot, and some of them were starting to malfunction, so we upgraded those and got 4-shot pepper guns. And that's all I got.
Any questions?
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Tyler. All right, moving on. Got a malfunction here, sorry. Moving on to the Public Works, Mike.
And thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wes had a meeting today with a company who is able and to give us a price on replacing the sand in the sand filters. You see the picture on your screen. That's a two-stage sand filter at a water plant. The filter media needs changing. It's a special media, special sand, and you have to get the proper material, and it has to be installed properly because there is a difference in the gradation of that sand filter top to bottom. So as soon as he gets a good price, we'll be issuing that. The money is already in the budget for that project. As we were discussing a while ago, there's a huge tree that we had an issue with in Greenwood Cemetery that was removed by a contractor. We did it with a contractor because we just did not feel safe doing it with our equipment and our employees. A contractor did a very good job. It's all cleaned up and gone. After somewhat of a long delay, you see this is a picture of the men's bathroom at Brianna's Park, all done by Public Works. All the parts are there. I think you also put them, yep, there's the ladies' bathroom. Everything is there. They are open. They close every night just as our other bathrooms do. The police department goes around every evening and locks those up, and in the morning, early in the morning, they go around and open those up. So as you can see, it's very nice, very clean, very new. And we've also, I don't know if they're gone yet, but Wes made the call. The Porta Johns will be removed from Brianna's Park as soon as possible. I mentioned to you earlier about the new HVAC at the Civic Center. This is a picture of the chiller going bye-bye. We actually, the contractor, West Find, actually paid us for the scrap. They scrapped out the chiller. They scrapped out the boiler. They also took the gas-fired hot water heater, which we no longer use. A lot of the ductwork that is there that was ripped out will be taken, and they will come back and clean up all the piping that is in the mechanical room. So we're gaining a lot of space, and we got paid for it. So it's a win-win. And Wes has scheduled an OSHA 10 safety course for our employees. It's planned for January 17th and 18th. OSHA 10 is basically the basic safety course you need when you're doing outside work and construction type work. For the month of January, they plan to remove and store the Christmas decorations, replace the finger piers at the harbor, as we talked about, and install an alarm system for the traffic circle storm drain pumps, which, as you know, failed last month without us knowing it, and then continue their routine maintenance after that. And with that, I'll entertain any questions from Public Works.
Anyone? No, my only question, I guess, would hopefully, with this impending weather that we might get, or somebody might get, have they done anything to the trucks as far as getting them ready to plow roads and the
I
sand thing?
can't answer that intelligently, but they will, they have the materials here.
Right.
So it's a matter of just, as you said, prepping the trucks. That can be done in a day. So
I
they
just
will,
don't
they
want-
will be ready.
They have equipment that hadn't, because I don't even know if we used it last year.
We did not.
So I don't want to have equipment that's been sitting back there, not,
I believe
Being
last
ready.
time we prepped the equipment maybe once or twice, but we never actually had to use it, which is a
Yeah.
good thing, very good thing.
right.
But yeah, they'll have it ready to go.
I think I heard E.T. say he was working on a truck about a week or so ago, ready to go.
Hope so. Hopefully we won't need it. Anyhow,
Yeah.
Uh,
Have some stuff. Thank you. What's it- maybe
once or,
snow
once,
then.
one day or 2 days, that's all we need. Anyhow, late flurries. Any other questions for Wes through Mike? All right, moving on. One of the newest town employees. She's here to represent the center, and it's been keeping her very, very, very busy. I can attest to that. Please welcome Mary Esther.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year to everyone. So Mike's got us all put together here. During the month of December, we had 10 events out of 24 usable days. The other week was due to the replacement of the HVAC system. We weren't able to use it that first week. So we had 4 community events, a private birthday party, a quinceanera, that was 300 people actually here. And then we had Delegate Bloxham's New Year's Eve ball this past weekend. So looking at last year, I was able to pull up, there were 6 events out of 31 usable days last year. So did the math today and got it checked. And so that's a 22% increase in occupancy in there over last year. Today, we started the walking this morning. January 2nd, we're going to do Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's nice and warm in there, so every day we've got people coming in. This morning we had 16. So they were walking. A couple people were sick that I know wanted to come, so hopefully they'll be showing up. The pictures we've got, we had a Christmas tree class that was by Madison Hudgens over at, what's the name of the place? I can't remember. On the Roots, I'm sorry, yes. And she came and brought corks, and we made cork Christmas trees. There were 16 people at that event. The second picture there is a wedding that we also had, and the quinceanera is the little girl in purple there, her 15th birthday. That was very successful, no problems, maybe a little problem with the noise, but we figured that all out. So moving on, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. There's some pictures here of Rob Bloxham's New Year's Eve ball. 150 people came Sunday evening. It was a great event. Started at 6 p.m. and went on till about 1, just about 12:30, 1 o'clock was when everybody left. We were able to secure the trolleys for that event, and that was a huge success. The trolley, the first run was full, and he had to make a couple more runs, but everything worked out very well. Everyone was very appreciative of the ride home. So the big news, with the help of the chamber, we submitted a proposal to the Virginia Tourism Commission to have Chincoteague host the annual, they call it the summit, the Virginia Visitor Center Seminar Summit, and we were awarded this award. I'm not sure how many other localities actually put in for that, but it's a big deal. They have at least 100 people to come, visitor centers and welcome centers all across the state. They'll be here for a total of 3 days. They'll come in one evening, and then they spend the next day doing what we call a FAM tour, which is the familiarization tour. I've got them hour by hour booked on, we're going to the Wildlife Refuge, we're going to NASA, we've got different people speaking, we've got some fire department involvement about the horses. It's going to be a great event. Of course, they'll be spending money with hotel rooms, restaurants, that kind of thing. So really looking forward to that. It happens during the week in March. We've secured the dates today, actually. They'll be coming in on Tuesday, I believe it's the 12th. The FAM day, the tour day, will be that Wednesday, the 13th. And then the next day, they'll have their own seminars. Plan to include a lot of local people in that. Maybe have a decoy carving demonstration for them. It's just people from all over the state. Some of them have never been to the East Coast, this side of the Chesapeake Bay. And we're hoping to have a really big turnout for that. I would love to have anyone's suggestions for events in there. A lot of people have been telling me, things they thought would be really good. One thing I do wanted to share with you guys, I met today with the Island Community House, and they want to have bingo. They're kind of outgrowing the house. They don't really have enough room there. So I think we're going to partner with them, give them a place to have it just to get people out. 6 months. So it's the last Monday in the month, and it's from 1 to 3 in the afternoons. So I think that's what we're going to go with, just to give people something to do. Since I started in July, we've got 1,500 new followers on social media, on Facebook alone. I haven't counted the Instagram things, but a lot of people are really, coming out, doing stuff, attending the events, or saying, how much they appreciate the events. And I would love to hear any events you guys might think that would be beneficial to the community. We are going to bring back the decoy show, Thanksgiving. I'm already working on that, not sure which days yet, but that's on the horizon. So you guys have any questions about anything?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Denny.
Do you, I know before, I think this even before you came on board, there were some issues with audio visual equipment. You got all that squared away? You need more stuff? You need stuff?
Right now, we don't have anything. With the HVAC system, a lot of wiring and that kind of thing was involved. So right now, we don't have anything, but hopefully in this quarter to second quarter.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
I'm thinking about this big thing in March with the tourism thing. I mean, that's huge.
And it is, even if the permanent system is not completed by then, we can certainly have a portable system that works well and is convenient enough.
Okay.
But the object is to eventually, and actually this winter, to have a permanent system installed along with a professional rack that's controllable by the center personnel.
I'm looking at this as the center's finally getting used for pretty much what it was built for community events, and bringing this Virginia tourism thing in. That's huge, and I want us to look our best.
Yes,
and I know you'll
definitely.
Make it our best.
Yes.
And I know you'll make it that way, But if she can continue to get things like this across the state, I want us to have all the, the best equipment over there we can have. So, not just a megaphone,
Right.
So.
And my email's on there if you guys want to send me anything, give me just ideas, whatever, just shoot me a text or email.
I think you're doing an awesome job.
You're doing a good
Oh,
job.
thank you. I'm
If
trying.
If you haven't been over there, you probably need to go over there and just venture around. Do one of the walks in the morning just to see. I mean, the building's 30+ years old. I mean, so there's things that need to be.
And I would say 95% of what's in there
is
was there
original.
since '96.
Yeah.
Yes,
It needs some help.
it does.
So the heat and air was the
Yeah, that was the
I would say
big thing.
major thing.
That was a big thing.
So
I think everybody will agree now that it's very comfortable in
Yes.
there. And you can, instead, I don't know if you, one of the most recent events we had was right on the edge of air conditioning heating season, and it got very hot that evening in there, and it was impossible to switch over to air conditioning that quickly. And now it's a matter of picking up your phone and saying,
Change from heat to air.
we
Yep.
switched over that quickly. All of a sudden it's cold air instead of hot air in the fence. So.
I'm just going to throw this out there because I don't remember and don't know. You may remember. What was the reason for that not to be a normal kitchen to do things with?
I believe it's health department.
It is.
Okay. So wonder how the Island Community House gets away with having a
They have
commercial
a
kitchen.
they have a professional kitchen,
Yeah.
so they can do that. They're inspected by the health department. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how
but
often.
The permitting is her question. Why were they permitted to do it and we weren't?
That's a very good question, and I believe our permit says something like we can't do two food events within 48 hours.
Correct.
Something to that effect. But that was imposed by the health department when the place was permitted originally. And I'd have to go back to the health, I have not done this, but I'd have to go back to the health department and determine why.
The septic was part of it too,
Well,
I believe.
that's the whole thing, a septic
Yeah.
permit, yeah, but why they only permitted that, I'm not sure. Obviously, it had something to do with the capacity of our training fields, and we do have regular training fields right down here in the front yard. But we can certainly look into changing that.
I'd be interested to see if anything would change with that because I do sometimes think that can hold back some events of not
Yes.
being able to prepare your food in there, that it has to come in.
Some of the caterers come and bring their own trailers and cook right
Yeah.
Right.
outside. That's what they
Yeah.
did this weekend. And it's, I'm not going to say it hinders it, but it does
Yeah.
definitely throw a kink in things. So, Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, as always, last but not least is emergency medical. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, I won't sit here and pretend to do as good a job as Brian does, but you can look, they had 62 responses, calls for service for the month of December. They do blood pressure screening. Brian has also, and I haven't had a chance to talk with him in detail about this, but he has also noted here that on the EMS advisory board, of which you know he represents the municipal, the VML, Virginia Municipal League, Governor Youngkin has directed $8 million of the surplus that the Virginia Department of Health returned to the general fund at the end of 23 to be redistributed to the office of EMS. And he's hopeful that some of that will eventually make its way back to us. There was some, I don't know if you've been following it or not, but there's a little bit of hanky-panky going on there at the top, it seems. The ambulance will be ready for inspection, the new ambulance, by January 29th of 2024. Completion date is February of 2024.
Don't hold your breath.
I believe it when it rolls up.
And
Throw a party.
Yeah.
the big news is that we have one new hire from our part-time ranks that's committed, and we also have 2 letters of intent from our part-time ranks. The 2 letters of intent have not yet pulled the trigger and said they will definitely sign up. But we do have one that started officially January 1st. With that, I'll entertain any questions, and I can answer them without asking Brian. But
Anybody? No. All right, thank you, Mike.
yes, sir.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes from our December 4th meeting and our special meeting that we had about septic on December the 11th.
Motion.
Second. Motion seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving on to the trolley grant. Back to Mr. Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as you all know, that we always do the trolley budget in total in January because the grant, the operations grant, is due February 1st. Billy's here if you would like to ask any questions concerning operations. This year's trolley budget operations, and I'll stress this is the operations budget, is $92,800. About 73% of that is paid for between federal and state grants. The other 27% is paid for, which totals, by the way, about $25,000 is paid for by the town. The budget includes raises and salaries to attempt to lower and retain enough drivers to operate a full schedule this year. We haven't operated a full schedule since before COVID. Full schedule we're going to define as 7 days a week in the months of July and August. It's weekends before and after that, basically. We also do specials for the Oyster Festival and the Seafood Festival in May and in October. We also, and something different this year, as you know, we just purchased a new trolley. It arrived this summer, which means we have one more trolley than we can use. The last time this happened, we surplused a trolley. This was prior to my tenure. And we plan to surplus the 4th vehicle again. What an idea that was tossed around the office, and I've included here for your consideration, is for the town to purchase that trolley outright. Purchasing that trolley has some benefits, namely it takes it out from under the guise of DRPT and allows the town to use that trolley as they see fit. DRPT, as you know, has some restrictions on what can be used. Between Mary Esther and Billy, they did a great job getting trolley use for the recent event for Mr. Bloxham's, Representative Bloxham's party. And they've also done a great job. Mary Esther's got it lined up for the VTC summit that's going to happen in March. However, there's no such thing. Let me back up. DRPT was agreeable to both of those items because one of them involved a sitting delegate and some sitting delegates at his party, and the other involves a department of the state of Virginia. So they were more apt to say yes to that than they would be a private wedding, for instance. As you can see, Mary Esther said it was very popular the other night when it was used, and I can see it, the town owning a trolley being very popular as well. So we just threw this in here for the council's consideration. The last trolley we sold, we received $40,000 from a company in Canada for that surplus trolley, and they came down here and drove it back to Canada. So we stuck that number in there. Billy is doing some work with DRPT trying to find out what the exact rules will be so far as competition for valuing that trolley and dispensing with it or surplusing it. But we did think it would be a worthwhile idea to consider the town purchasing that, so that the restrictions for when we need transportation for groups, the restrictions would be off. Just something for you to consider. Again,
Who sets a price on that?
well, Billy's working with DRPT right now to find out what their regulations would be on that. They may say that, you know, you can buy that for the depreciated value. We'll have to see. They may say it has to be surplus under competition. If that's the case, we could put it on the auction site and then bid on it like everyone else. And they may say that, you know, you're the current operator, so we'll give you some special dispensation. You know, we don't know the answer to that question yet. So
Okay.
hopefully, they say since you own it, we're going to give you a deal and let us purchase it for. I will say though, the funds would never leave Chincoteague if we purchased it. The funds that we bought the trolley with would come out of the general fund and would go to the trolley capital account. That would restrict those funds for only being used for trolley capital purchases, which, I mean, we could buy all new tires for all the trolleys. That's a capital purchase. You know,
Right.
things like that. So the funds, if we bought it, would never leave Chincoteague. They'd just be switched to another account.
I said if the ambulance don't come, I'm gonna strap some lights to it.
You know.
Slow ride this long.
I'm telling you. Can't be no slower than the ambulance getting here.
But I think it doesn't take much imagination to think of what it could be used for, the purposes that we could use that thing for on the island.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I think you need to proceed forth with that with haste.
We'll do our best to figure out how we can get that at the least legal price.
And that's what the trolley initially started, was to alleviate the vehicles off the roads to restrict so much traffic. That was the purpose of us getting the trolleys. But I know they are, whatever, they're pretty tight on the rules, but that's, I think some of them's probably lost sight of what the purpose of it was,
Well,
when the trolley come here.
certainly, we would remove all the Pony Express decals from the vehicle and put something else on it to define that it was owned by the town of Chincoteague. But as I said from Sunday night's event, it actually worked very well transporting people from the venue back to hotels. You can do the same thing with restaurants. You can do the same thing with other events or other attractions. You know, it can be there's 100 different things it could be used for. It might benefit the town.
And you're gonna get the kids to have a contest to name the trolley.
Billy and I have talked about that, yes. Billy is compiling a list right now. We thought of asking the kids to come up with the names. And then we thought it might be a better idea to come up with some names and ask them which ones they prefer. So Billy's coming up. Billy's been going through the...
I've been going through some today, and me not being from here and not knowing all these ponies, that's a lot.
He's going through the pony registry that the fire department still owns, that sort of
And I'm
thing.
trying to go through the ones that's no longer with us and like that, so.
But
If y'all have any ideas for names, please let me know.
Well,
the idea is to present those to the elementary school and get the kids to vote.
The one stud that I think we should probably not name it after is Wild Thing. That would not be a good thing for a trolley.
No.
Sounds like a Busch Gardens ride or something.
Yeah.
Come aboard the wild thing.
Yeah, but then again, that could be a very good marketing tool.
Yeah.
You know, I rode Wild Thing today. Yeah.
Yep.
So the actual line-by-line budget is also attached to your agenda. I'll entertain any questions you might have about that.
Anybody? All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to
I
approve.
do have a
Oh,
question.
Go ahead, Denise.
So I'm looking at your salaries for 25 compared to 24, and it's gone down some. But then you were talking about trying to hire some more drivers. Going down about what, 5,000 your salaries compared to 24 to 25.
That was, yes, and if you look, the green column, FY '24, I should have put on there, that was what was budgeted, and that was for a full service trolley. We did not spend near that on salaries for FY '24, so, yes, we did, I believe that also contained a few more drivers than we actually used. Billy has been through and he's recruited an excellent group of drivers. They're dedicated, they're reliable, and they're all well-trained and very courteous. I did not hear one complaint about trolley operation all summer. They did a great job. He's really got a great group of people, and
It's called a bus driver.
and they are, I think, to the last person, all Accomack County School bus drivers, aren't they, Billy?
Yeah,
There you go.
every last one of them.
Well, if they can deal with kids, they can deal with anything.
Did not need any training when they got here at all, so that's a wonderful thing. But in any event, I think we had planned to use several more drivers because the fact that they're not always, in the past, it always hasn't been reliable, and it's been difficult sometimes to scrape up enough drivers to run what we were, and that's what that number's based on.
Okay.
But we've been through the salaried number several times, and that number's correct, 44,220.
Okay.
All right, I'll entertain that motion.
So move.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, moving on. I'll start with comments to my rate. Ms. Richardson,
No, I don't think so.
not tonight. Denise?
Yeah, just Happy New Year. I'm really hoping and praying that as we go along as a town, we continue on the path of being welcoming to our visitors and also taking care of our people that live here as well. We still got some issues to address and take care of, but I really like what Gene Wayne said in his opening prayer. You know, we need to be kinder and gentler and just try to do the best we can to live our best life every day and make sure our employees are taken care of in our town. And definitely prayers to Jay's mother. She's having a really hard time. And Gene Wayne's son-in-law was in a pretty bad ATV accident over the weekend, and I had some surgery, so all of our thoughts and prayers go there. And Arthur, I didn't know whether to send you flowers today or not. I'm just,
Sympathy cards.
thinking of you card or something like that.
It's a good game.
Roll Tide just didn't roll.
Roll wrong way.
So, just Happy New Year, everybody, and let's make 2024 one of our best yet. That's what I'd like to see.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
No, nothing for me.
Billy?
Just echo what Denise said, that's it.
Gene Wayne?
Pray for God's continued blessings in 2024.
Jay?
Happy New Year, and let's go.
All right, well, mine will be short and sweet. 2023 is over, 2024 is rolling along. And I don't need to bring up last night.
They done done it up
2024 is a new season, so roll tide. It was a good game. In accordance to 2.2-3711A14, the Code of Virginia, for the discussion of specific personnel and protection of the privacy of individuals and personal matters not related to public business. I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All righty, y'all. We will see you.